What's going on, guys? Shady Mike Gaming, and today I'm super hyped to bring you guys this video. Extremely different format than anything we've ever done here on this channel, but this is the first video, as you can see, in the new setup. I have so much more work to do on the studio, but we're getting there slowly but surely. And I wanted to change things up and just bring a little bit of a fresh air to the channel. So this is a video that some of you have asked me to do, but everyone in my real life has asked me to make this video. And pretty much what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and make this a weekly thing, is I'm basically just going to take some of the main NBA headlines and talk over them. Sometimes I'll have a face cam like today. Sometimes I won't. I don't know. Just depends on how I'm feeling, I guess. Still a little bit weird for me talking on camera, especially you guys know, I've been doing YouTube for a long time, kind of without a face behind it. So we'll see how that goes as well. But basically what I'm going to do is, just like we do every day at work, me and my friends, we talk, we argue, we debate over hot topics. I'm just going to be talking mainstream hot takes from the NBA and giving my thoughts and opinions on them. And I want that same vibe that we have at work while we're laughing and joking around to be the same vibes on the channel, on Twitter, on Instagram, here on YouTube, all at Shady Mike Gaming, by the way. Follow me. Twitter and Instagram as well. If you're following me on Instagram over the weekend, you'll see I just made I was working on building up my new studio, so it's going to be awesome. So stay tuned for that. But I want that same atmosphere in the comment section. We're just going to argue. We're only going to be talking mainstream basketball. So, nothing, sorry to all the small market guys, but let's get right into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today, with all the crap that's going on, how could you start anywhere but here? Coronavirus. Holy crap. It's so funny, jokingly, right? I always joke with all my friends, I have the worst luck in the world. I relocated and moved from New Jersey here to Atlanta, and I picked the one county in Atlanta that has the first people diagnosed with freaking coronavirus. So freaked me out a little bit. You couldn't get anything from the supermarkets. Everything was crazy. So Adam Silver sends a memo to all the NBA teams and says, hey, look, we don't know how crazy this coronavirus is going to get, but there may come a time when we're playing games without fans. No arena, empty arena. We're just going to play the games, tape the games. No fans, just, refs, NBA players. He said important personnel only. And, of course, LeBron James, when we're talking hot topics, guys, just heads up, there's going to be a lot of LeBron James. LeBron James says, whose mans is this? If there's no fans, I'm not playing. So I thought that was hilarious. I actually agree with LeBron. Like, look, if it's to the point that we can't have fans in the stadiums, I feel like we probably shouldn't be playing basketball in general, but the league's got to make money, and they're not trying to lose money in the event that coronavirus does become crazy. Now, everyone has their different opinions on coronavirus. Oh, it's terrible and we're underestimating it. And then some people are like, hey, more people die from the normal flu. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm a little bit nervous just because it was found like my county was like one of the first places it was at. So I'm like, what the heck? But other than that, it kind of is what it is. You got to do what you got to do with life, right? I thought it was funny because Steph Curry made his NBA debut, and the next day they say he's like super sick. And I'm like, wait, did Steph Curry get the coronavirus? But they came out and they said, no, he's just got the normal flu. So it's like nowadays it's hard to differentiate between do you have the normal flu or this other thing. But I guess, you could say arguably they're both just as dangerous. But next topic I wanted to discuss was the Rockets. I would argue you could call this a tumultuous past week for the Rockets. Ever since they made this trade where they traded away their center, they were not using the center. Positionless basketball, small ball, whatever you want to call it. We're shooting threes. We don't care about bigs. And they clearly don't care about rebounds, and they clearly don't care about winning. I told everybody on Twitter from day one, the Rockets are done. If you're a Rockets fan, wrap it up. I wish they could literally just forfeit their playoff when they make the playoffs, whenever they get there, because they're going to get curb stomped in the playoffs when the game slows down and possessions are more valuable. Do you know how many offensive rebounds a team like the Jazz are going to get that has a really big center in the middle? They have doubled down on analytics, and I've been saying this from day one. Fire Daryl Morey. Get rid of him. They are never going to win anything in Houston. Let me know if you disagree. By them losing their last, what is this, a 5-game losing streak now? And you got to look at the numbers of how much they're getting out-rebounded by. They're getting murdered on the glass. So the Rockets, dead in the water. If I'm a Rockets fan, I need Daryl Morey to go. Nonetheless, he almost ended the whole NBA with one tweet. We're not even going to talk about that, starting a feud with China, but the analytics-driven, dumb decisions. And you know what? Maybe get rid of D'Antoni, too. Let's get somebody in here that's going to play a real offense and see if we can, I wouldn't say unlock Harden, because by his stats, he's pretty unlocked now, but can they play a style of basketball that's actually sustainable and can compete for a championship? Because what they're doing right now, that's not, I don't see it at all. And there's no bias here. I'm a Sixers fan. We're going nowhere too. But man, I'm just watching these guys. And the big thing is, when they don't hit threes, they're one of the most ridiculous looking teams to watch. They come up, pass maybe twice, and then miss a three and keep it moving because they can't get rebounds because they have no bigs. R.I.P. P.J. Tucker. Best shoe game in the league, but man, he's got to be fed up right about now. And then, obviously, and this is where I'm going to spend most of my time talking, I want to talk about LeBron James's magical, let's call it MVP weekend, if that's what we want to call it, due to his last few games versus the Bucks and the Clippers, both getting W's, and don't get me wrong, huge tubs. LeBron James has been catapulted into the MVP discussion. And if you follow me on Twitter, you already know how I feel about this. But to me, that is, of this year, that has been the most absurd development that I've seen. And so I just want to go into a little bit more detail there. How do you let one weekend where he beats the Clippers and he beats the Bucks, when both, correct me if I'm wrong, I think both of those teams already beat the Lakers twice. So wait, no, the Bucks beat them once before, and Giannis is when Giannis went off and hit all those threes. I think he hit like 5 threes. It's like 5 from 7 from 3. The Clippers curb stomped them twice, but now LeBron's one victory over each of those teams catapults him into, not just into, but towards the top of the MVP discussion. I think that's crazy, and I'm going to tell you why. Listen, this is where I told you there's going to be hot takes. There's going to be a lot of people that disagree, but I'm going to say it is what it is. The number one reason that's crazy is because I'm going to go right out and say it. I don't believe LeBron James is the best player on his team. I know that's a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy when I say it, but I think Anthony Davis is the best player on that team. And if you and this is what a lot of people just look at headlines. If you saw that Lakers game, correct me if I'm wrong, LeBron James didn't even score in the third quarter. He did not even score. He was resting in the third quarter. Avery Bradley got hot. You know what I'm saying? And the game is pretty much in the bag going, into the fourth. But correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say Anthony Davis leads the Lakers in points, rebounds, blocks, steals, PER, which is a really big stat that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I really think the Lakers are on a championship pace this year, and shout out to them. That's awesome for them. But let's not act like there's not 2 top 5 players on the same team. Like, shout out to them. They're awesome. They're fun. Really fun team to watch, but it is what it is. This isn't something like super crazy. This isn't something super special. LeBron's doing well because he's got another top 5 player on his team, and he's going to win tough games because he's got a tough team. Now, the reason I think LeBron James should be nowhere near the MVP conversation is because I don't think anyone should be anywhere near the MVP conversation. Now, look, the Bucks, that team, they're beastly, but I do not buy into the hype surrounding those guys. I think the Bucks are frauds, and I'm not saying Giannis is a fraud. I'm saying the Bucks are frauds, which makes it even more spectacular. I mean, the rest of his teammates are frauds, which makes it even more spectacular that team is en route to win 70 games. Now, Giannis is hurt, so I don't know if they're going to do that now, but as of before this injury, they're on pace to win 70 games. And he has no co-star. Now, I know the people are going to jump down my throat. Oh, Chris Middleton. I think Chris Middleton is the most overrated, unfortunately, the most overrated player. One of the most overrated players, just because he's gotten so much better with the emergence of Giannis. But we saw last year that he is not a guy that's gonna take over late in games. He's a consistent shooter. He's got length, but he's not in my opinion, a game changer. Hey, LeBron, when he was going up against those 73-9 Warriors, and he needed Kyrie to close and hit one of the biggest shots ever, he did that. I don't see any of that in Chris Middleton. I don't see it in Eric Bledsoe. And so the fact that the Bucks are on their way to 70 wins is incredible to me, and I'm giving all of that to Giannis. Shout out to him, and I'm selling on all of the rest of his Bucks teammates. I know a couple of you guys will kill me for that, but it is what it is. Giannis, MVP by far. This man, Giannis, and I looked this up, he right now has the highest PER ever. That's it. Ever. I'm talking he's got a higher PER, player efficiency rating, than Wilt Chamberlain. Right now, he's the highest, on pace to finish the season with the highest PER of all time. And if LeBron were to win the MVP when someone did that, that would be crazy. And that kind of takes me back to the year when I felt like Harden should have been the MVP, but Russell Westbrook finished with a triple-double average, and we hadn't seen that in years. So when you got Giannis putting up and averaging, any type of number that's comparable to Wilt and the astronomical numbers that Wilt was putting up, that's, to me, he's the MVP. And to be honest, I don't even have it as being close. Now, the last thing I want to finish with, and people might think this would come out of left field, but I'm just going to say it and roll with it. This past weekend and this past month even, elevating LeBron James into the MVP conversation vindicates Kyrie Irving. Now, a lot of people might say, what on earth are you talking about? And first of all, what's wrong with Kyrie Irving? Don't think I or we forget how much criticism Kyrie got for saying, I'm sick of playing with LeBron. Every sports talk show in the world was saying, why would you be sick of playing with LeBron? Oh, he's a free ride to the finals. Don't you want to win? Don't you want to be a champion? Kyrie Irving hit the biggest shot in NBA history. And all people talk about is LeBron, his block, which was epic, don't get me wrong, but, LeBron being the GOAT because he beat the 73-9 Warriors. But Kyrie hit that clutch shot. Kyrie was dropping 40 points in playoff games and had some monstrous performances. So what does this past month, this past week, this past weekend, how does that help Kyrie Irving? Well, I think it justifies everything that he said. And I'm just going to go off, and some of y'all might not like it, but I'm going to say it. Is there a bigger beta than Anthony Davis? I'm a super. If I'm Anthony Davis, I'm thinking I'm a superstar. I lead the team in points, blocks, rebounds. All LeBron has me on is assists, and he's playing point guard. I'm the best player on this team. But nope, I'm going to go into my post-game interview and say, oh, LeBron's the MVP. I'm going to pass the buck and fold and let LeBron take all the glory and kind of just be there. And Kyrie Irving didn't want to be that. And the funny thing is, maybe with his talent level, Kyrie Irving should have been that. And AD with his talent level shouldn't be that. But their roles are reversed. Their mindsets are reversed. When you would think their skill sets are reversed, but they're not. Most people know Kyrie Irving was mentored by Kobe Bryant. And I don't believe Kobe and LeBron had any animosity towards each other. But I know that Kobe had a conversation with Kyrie and said, you're meant for greater than this. You can, and I'm sure Kyrie wanted the challenge to say, hey, let me go be, if not have my own team, play in a situation that I'm going to be acknowledged for my talents. And so seeing this weekend and just seeing this year, just people acting like the Lakers are the LeBron show, really makes me walk back a lot of the criticism that I gave of Kyrie, and to be honest, justifies and makes his decision making and line of thinking make a lot more sense. How am I going to be Anthony Davis averaging what I'm averaging, and all people want to talk about is LeBron James, and act like AD's not another top 5 player in the league? And I think he's the best player on the team. I think he's the best big in the league, and I think he's just at this point extremely underrated. But I just wanted to touch on those topics. Right now, the hot topic is LeBron for MVP. I think that's crazy, but nonetheless, I just wanted to get those thoughts out there. Channel update. So I dropped this video today. Later on in the week, I'm going to have a video showcasing the mods that I use in 2K. And then also I'm going to drop a video on what we expect coming from 2K and kind of a wish list type thing for what we expect in future 2Ks. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Just a little bit of chatting. I just had a whole bunch of NBA basketball thoughts that I had to vent out. Hope you enjoyed this difference in a format. I'm going to try to do it consistently. There's a little segment here. Try and do it once a week. Just kind of share my thoughts on the league and where things are going. But other than that, guys, I'm out. Peace. Threes.